Hello, everyone. Welcome to Decentralized Masters podcast. My name is Tristan. I'm here with my co host today, John. He's having a little bit of technical difficulties at the moment, but he will be with us eventually. And we're here to guide you through all the interesting news in DeFi and crypto. Every week, right here on Decentralized Masters, we go live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to bring you the latest insights, updates, and tools to help you master the DeFi space. Let's go into our go-to just kind of crypto bubbles. So let me show you this. We like to start off usually with just the crypto bubbles and see how things are going in the market today. Um, as you can see, great day. We're kind of up all over the board. I know exactly that OM, so the Mantra DAO token has just overtaken Trump coin, actually. So that one is having a terrific day. Great project. We actually called it out on our private group at 11 cents. And I think it's almost up to $6 today. So that has been a great hold for some of our clients. Jasmy up a whole 38%. SPX also up another 20%. So like I said, great day across the board. Meme coins are back in full force. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Hype coin is up. No, not too bad at all. Let me also just go into some interesting news that I thought we should go over. The Czech National Bank, so the Czech Republic, has begun their Bitcoin reserve. So they are one of the first countries out there to go through this, alongside countries like El Salvador, which made Bitcoin their national one of their national currencies, actually, last cycle. The Czech Republic has said that they will allow for the diversification of their reserve. So what that means is previously it was only gold and cash. Now they are approved to actually go in and invest in Bitcoin or other assets they preferred. But this was really just for Bitcoin. Another little bit of news I thought we should go through today is Michael Saylor. He has been featured as Forbes Business Person of the Year, I think. Um, it's interesting. If anyone who doesn't know Michael Saylor, he's the CIO, Chief Investment Officer of MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy has been making waves this year. They have all their assets in Bitcoin. They borrow Bitcoin, and it has been a very successful strategy for them, actually. Let me pull up the chart right here, actually. Yeah, anyone who has been holding MicroStrategy has had a very impressive run this year. So this is MicroStrategy stock. We're up for the year to date. We're up 13%. So that's since January 1st. And then if you've been holding for longer than a year, you're up 569%. And if you've been one of the longtime believers in this, you're up 2,000% in MicroStrategy. Lots of people use MicroStrategy kind of as a Bitcoin proxy. So for people who didn't want to get into the crypto market yet, or they wanted to be involved, but they didn't go into crypto and they're just in traditional finances like stocks, MicroStrategy was one of those ways that they could get really good exposure to that. And obviously it has played out well for them. However, last little thing I would want to mention is that last time, what is his name? The CEO of FTX, Bankman-Fried, he was on the title of Forbes, and that didn't. Well, that kind of said that was the top of the market. So a lot of people on Twitter are actually joking that now that Michael Saylor has been featured as the front page on Forbes magazine, that they are calling this the top of the market as well. I don't terribly believe that. I don't think we're quite at the top yet. Usually we see an alt season before we do have a top of the market. So I was kind of thinking that, there must be an alt season at least before we go down on Bitcoin. So we're watching for that. So I don't exactly think that is what's happening. But what I have prepared for you today is actually some conservative investment strategies. So let's say we do go into another bear market, or we go into a long time of a flat market. These are some good strategies to create some income and keep your portfolio strong. So let me share my little slideshow that I've prepared for you guys. All right. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about when you are looking for yield, or when you're looking for good returns, especially in bear markets and flat markets, is you want to have some sort of income. In traditional finance, you would have a portfolio that would be 60% stocks, and you would have 40% bonds or fixed income or money market. So in crypto, you can also set up something quite similar to that. Do I recommend that you go into 40% stable coins? That's up to you. It depends on the kind of investor you are. But you should have either stablecoin liquidity pool in your portfolio, or you should use lending protocols like Aave, MakerDAO. This just gives you some regular income on a monthly, weekly, daily basis that you can use to redeploy into other tokens that are down during bear markets. For example, I know that something I've struggled through when I was going through my last few cycles is I'd get into the bear market. There would be tons of great deals. I think these projects were, fire sale, but I didn't have any money, or I didn't have a lot of as much money coming in as I would wanted to. So if I had a stablecoin liquidity pool, or I had lots of USDC in a lending pool at that point in time, I could have deployed that income at those really good valuations. So once bitten, twice shy. I've now created a section of my portfolio that provides an income, and that's just one way that you can, you know, create a well balanced portfolio so that you don't have to have massive, uh, bad returns during good years, because bad years. Because if you were down, 30%, but you had a portfolio position of a little bit in stablecoin, and that returned, maybe 12%, 10%, that 30% down would only be 20% down. So that's a good way to kind of give your portfolio a little bit of balance. Next thing I wanted to talk about that segues nicely into this is dollar cost averaging. So if you are familiar with Decentralized Masters, or you're part of our private group, or you can join our free group as well. But dollar cost averaging is kind of some common sense that we provide to all our members. When you're dollar cost averaging, that basically means that you're adding to your positions at a fixed time. So whether that you add $1,000 every week, $1,000 every month, that is kind of what dollar costing averaging means. It means you're getting a more averaged out price. So even if you bought at the very top of the market, if you bought $1,000 up here and it went down more, you buy $1,000 there, and then you buy $1,000 here. That price wouldn't be, your holdings aren't going to be as high as if you put all of your money all in at once at the top. It's not too bad when you space it out. And that also goes the other way around too. If you bought here and it keeps going up, well, you're going to have a little bit of a higher average, but it's worth the risk. Like to have a little bit of higher average, or to have all your money stuck all at once at some high point and then the market drops. Yeah, it's not fun. What I have here on my chart though is what it would be if you had been dollar costing averaging on Bitcoin for the last 6 years, starting every month uh, for the last 6 years. You would have turned in $61,000. So that's the total over that period of time, into $167,000, which is a 175% return. If you did that same strategy with gold, however, over the same time period, you would have been only up 13%. So, you still had a return with gold. That's not too bad. But no, Bitcoin, dollar costing averaging Bitcoin is probably the easiest, but the most successful strategy in crypto. It's not exciting. You're not leveraging. There's no meme coin to it. Um, but that I think is probably the easiest and most successful strategy so far in crypto. And when you have a lending pool, or you have a stablecoin liquidity pool giving you income, every month, every week, dollar cost averaging is quite easy. You just take the funds from there, move it into whatever you're averaging into, and it doesn't even, you're not even using the income that you're working for. That can be used for whatever else you want, to pay your bills, to other investments. But if you could just use the income that you have from a liquidity pool that you built, or a lending protocol that you're using, you can just dollar cost average those funds. The next one I wanted to talk about is where you get into real world assets. So real world assets are quite hype, or they're getting a lot of excitement right now. That is what Mantra Network does. Mantra DAO. That was that token in the crypto bubbles. It was up something like 30% today. What they do, but what real world assets are, is they're real world assets, like a house, bond, stock, and then they're tokenized. So the first one I just wanted to talk about is treasury bonds. So Ondo is actually one of the best projects in this. The Ondo token itself has also been quite successful, and I think it's up quite a bit today as well. But what the Ondo project actually does is that it's taken treasury bonds from the United States Fed. So these bonds are quote unquote the safest assets in the world, because if the United States doesn't pay their debt on their bonds, well, you'll have bigger problems than your crypto portfolio. Yeah, but they don't have massive returns. So as you can see in my picture, the two products that Ondo offers, they only do 4.35% and 4.44%. So they're not huge. Most people don't come to crypto to only make 4%. When people get involved in crypto, they're out there for that 100x, the 100x every year. So these products don't really inspire people to get into crypto. But what they do good is when we do go into a bear market, when we went into the bear market in 2022, a lot of liquidity came out of crypto because they were all seeking the safest asset, which is bonds. So now that Ondo has created this project, liquidity can stay inside crypto, but they can just do all that liquidity can go into something like USDY, where they'll earn a safe for 4%. So they're not having to take that liquidity out of crypto. That it can stay in crypto, it's really nice. You can use this as even like a bank account. You're probably earn a little bit higher than what you would right now in a checking account at JP Morgan or something. So using an Ondo product, not too bad. I'm quite bullish on Ondo, Ondo itself. I believe with Trump in office, that we will see a massive wave in tokenized assets. So we will see more bonds, we will see more stocks. All these things will be getting on the blockchain, and using a project that has so many. Ondo has lots of connections with the SEC that Trump has appointed, and the Trump administration in general. That I think Ondo will be a massive benefactor of any of looser regulations that are coming in the next 4 years. Next real world asset I want to talk about real quick is PAXG Gold and Kinesis Silver, or tokenized precious metals. If you've seen my last podcast, I did mention PAXG Gold. Basically, what PAXG is that it's tokenized gold. So it's not moving with the rest of the crypto market. It's moving with the price of gold. So as you can see on the left, the price of gold when I took that screenshot was $2,762. And then that will move with the gold price. Gold does move with crypto though. Gold is a very similar asset to Bitcoin. They are both inflation resistant stores of value. So they do have a similar correlation. Something that affects Bitcoin will often affect gold. But what you get from gold is if Bitcoin might go down 20%, and Bitcoin might go down 20%, and gold might go down 4%. So the volatility on gold isn't quite the same as what you get in crypto. It will go in the same direction in a bear market usually. But it does give you a little bit of diversification in your portfolio away from the massive swings of the crypto market. So PAXG Gold is actually, it's a good balancer in your portfolio. And there's actually some protocols out there. So it is on Uniswap, so you can put PAXG in a liquidity pool. I've also seen that on Nexo, which is a centralized exchange, that you can get a little bit of yield for staking PAXG there as well. So getting yield on gold is basically revolutionary because, if you had gold physically, there's no yield on that. So PAXG is a really good project that I definitely would recommend looking into. Kinesis Silver, it has less interest, less hype than PAXG Gold. It's a little bit more niche. I was not able to find any liquidity pools for it either. But it's the same concept. It tracks the price of silver rather than the price. It tracks the price of silver, so it's not exactly fluctuating with the crypto market. Silver does kind of trade similar to gold, so you will see when swinging the crypto market going down, gold will likely go down as well. Silver will likely follow, but not nearly at the same kind of rate that you would see from gold. So if you want a little bit of diversification, if you're a gold bug, you're a precious metal guy, and you just like crypto, it's something that you could have in your portfolio. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to real world assets here is real estate. So I spoke about this in the last podcast, but to just double click on that, real estate has become tokenized for some projects. So on the left there, you see Estate Protocol. Estate Protocol is actually one of the projects of Mantra DAO. And Mantra's that token that we were talking about in Crypto Bubbles, up 30% today. Basically, when you're on Estate Protocol, they have properties in Dubai or the UAE up for tokenized sale. So you can buy a token of this property, and then you actually get a yield on it as well. So those are going to be affected by the real estate market. The price, the asset value of those will be on real estate and not crypto. The UAE probably has a lot of exposure to oil, lots of exposure to crypto, just because a lot of good crypto businesses are headquartered there. So you could potentially see a downturn in real estate in Dubai if we do go into a bear market in crypto, though. So it's not bad. Like you'll be diversified enough that it's not going to affect you massively, but it might go down a little bit, but you're still getting a yield on it. So you can use that yield and apply it elsewhere in your portfolio. Rental is another project that I spoke about earlier. Not quite as developed as the Estate Protocol. The UI and the UX of Rental needs a little bit of work. So if you guys at the Rental team see that, just letting you know. But you have properties that have been tokenized in more than just one country. There's tokenized properties in the United States. There's tokenized properties in Mexico, tokenized properties in Spain and Argentina. So you can get access to those real estate markets through Rental. Next one, last one I think I have for here is currency diversification. So when we go into bear markets in crypto and just kind of in stock market in general, we see a flight to the dollar. So a lot of people put a lot of money into the dollar, and the dollar receives a lot of strength. So not a lot of other currencies in the world have been as successful as the dollar. However, one of those currencies that has been good over the last 5 years and above the dollar is the Swiss franc. There is no USDC, USDT equivalents to the Swiss franc that are as popular, but there is a tokenized version of it. So you can look up VCHF. That is a tokenized Swiss franc done by VNX.io. It's pretty good. It's been, when I looked at the chart, it's been tracking Swiss franc perfectly. So it is reliable, and it has been around for a little while now. I even was able to find a liquidity pool for the VCHF on Balancer. So it does have 20 to 50% APR right now on that liquidity pool. Make sure you do a little bit of research if you're going into any liquidity pool. But if you wanted exposure into other currencies if we're going back now to my first slide where I was talking about stablecoin liquidity pools, if you want to have diversification within your stablecoin liquidity pools, going for something like a VCHF or going for something like one of the Euro stablecoin pools that are out there is a good way to get some diversification inside of your stablecoin liquidity pools. So that is one way you can get some other, yield during harder times, bear markets. Another way to do it is going short. So traders need to trade. Traders need to make money. They provide the food on their table and the rent and the roof over their house. They have to make money in all markets. So going short, which means basically making trades and being profitable as the market goes down. So you make money. Let's say Bitcoin goes from 100,000 to 80,000, and you made a short on that. That's how you would make money. You would get a 20% return there. Going short can be a little bit risky. You have to use margin. So if you're not a margin investor, you're not going to have access to that. But it's one way that you can protect your portfolio during downswings. And if you're trading, that's another good way to do it. Last thing I want to mention, it's a little bit off kilter. It's a little bit different because it's basically straight gambling. But that's predictions market. So what I have here is Poly Market, which is the most famous predictions market. It is actually the site that had a strong prediction that Donald Trump would win the election. But this is one way to do it, to make some extra income or to make trades during bear markets, because the NFL isn't going to stop in the bear market. You can still watch hockey. Elections are still going to happen. There's going to be things that you can make predictions on. Doesn't matter what kind of market we're in. So that is one way we can get into that. One way we can continue to make income during bear markets. It's gambling unless you have an unfair edge, pretty much. So that so far is my presentation on other real world assets and stabilizing your portfolio during bear markets. Let's see some of these comments that we have in the side here. All right. Mila says, hello, Tristan. Go Czech Republic. I'm from Prague. Nice. I will always want to go to Prague at some point. We'll get there eventually. It looks like John is alive.
I'm back. Right here.
He's good. That's excellent. Excellent. Mila says Ondo up 14% today. Yeah. It's a good day for real world assets. Both Ondo and Mantra were up quite a bit on the crypto bubbles there. Cool.
Really great presentation, man. Apologize for that, guys. Was running into a little bit of technical difficulty since the morning. Had some computer issues, and my backup computer also had issues, and I somehow made it here today. So I was really nervous about not being able to make it today, but I was able to make it last minute. So we're going to go ahead and go straight into it and take a look at the market overall. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Welcome in, Mila, and everyone else that is watching today. Go ahead and make sure to smash that like button. And most importantly, go ahead and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed just yet. As well, do you want to go ahead and make an announcement? We actually are going to be streaming twice a week now. So Tuesday is going to be our new time. Should go ahead and be, we'll double confirm on time. So I don't want to go ahead and say anything. I'm sure we're already on time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market. I know Tristan covered crypto bubbles a little bit, but as you see, green all across the board, just like nothing ever happened. We did have the FOMC meeting yesterday. Basically, what went ahead and happened, they just said they're going to remain stagnant. They're not really going to do much. I'm assuming they're probably more than likely going to be cutting rates in March. I think that's what would make a lot more sense for the market. So I would highly, highly recommend all of you, if you are not aware of the FOMC meetings, these are the Fed talks, where the Federal Reserve talks about, inflation, CPI data, how the economy is doing. Could be a little bit of boring stuff, but this kind of does give you a little bit more of an edge to get an understanding of how the market in the traditional world is taking a lot of the information, which does have a correlation effect to cryptocurrency. So I highly, highly encourage all of you, go ahead and subscribe to their channel. I think they have a Federal Reserve channel, but you can see it. I'll go ahead and show you a calendar of when their next meetings are. You could just type in federalreserve.gov. /calendar or Federal Reserve calendar meetings, and this should show up. And as you see, the next one is in March 18th to the 19th. So I'm expecting, in my opinion, March could be the time when they decide to cut. Worst case scenario, maybe May, but I think March would make the most sense, in my opinion. What are your thoughts, Tristan? How did you feel about the FOMC meeting? I think it was definitely a good FOMC meeting, to be completely honest. I think one of the best that I've seen so far.
Well, we actually were up after the FOMC meeting, which is very rare. Usually Jay Powell gets up on the stage, says, "Good afternoon," and then the market tanks. So to actually end an FOMC meeting up was not bad. I do think we'll probably end up seeing a rate cut in March, especially if Trump is going to shake up the market. If he's putting tariffs on Canada and Mexico at the end of the week here, we got 2 more days until we'll see what happens there. So let's see how that goes. But if he's shaking up the market, we could definitely see some rate cuts coming just to support the market as we go forward.
Yeah, 100%. Look, Russ, welcome in. He's asking twice a week or just Tuesdays. So twice a week. It's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't want to go ahead and say the time because I want to go ahead and quadruple confirm, but it should be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to go ahead and double check on that. But so far, that is the time that we have agreed upon. So that way, so you guys, if a lot of you can't go ahead and catch us during this time, hopefully throughout the afternoon, you do have a chance to go ahead and watch us live. And that way, since right now there's a lot of news, like literally last week, 1 week is just not enough anymore. Like there's so many news going on every day now, like a lot of volatility. And I think it is our goal here for Decentralized Masters for us to at least be active twice a week. Now, keep in mind, we are on every day with our private community. So if you guys are interested in getting that kind of support, go ahead and feel free to go ahead and check us out. Link down below in the description. But also, the good thing is that for both our private members and our free community, now you guys get access to us twice a week. And that really does keeps us up to date when it comes to all the news. There's just a lot of things going on right now with crypto overall. So we thought it would be the best thing to go ahead and hop on now twice a week. But I would highly, highly recommend all of you keep up with the FOMC meetings. Just watch so you can kind of get an idea of how the market reacts. Usually what I like to do is I like to listen to the FOMC meeting, pull out a Bitcoin chart or just even pull out crypto bubbles, and you'll start to see how the market reacts as you're listening. It's just up and down, up and down. So it's really, really interesting. Highly recommend all of you. So yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's what we're going to be doing. And Leo, welcome in. That's really good insight and information about crypto. Yes, Tristan's really good at what he does. Let's see, Jerome Powell, second powerful man. Yes. Very, very good. Yeah, thank you, Russ. Appreciate you guys. So what I was saying, FOMC meeting, stagnant. These events are very, very big. This is the reason why we saw a lot of volatility. We were mentioning last week during the live stream and also to our private members that we will be seeing a lot of volatility due to Trump coming into office officially. We had the FOMC meeting as well. So, and as well, one major thing, Bitcoin is at some pretty critical areas. Not going to go ahead and sit here and lie, but so far market's looking pretty good overall. We're going to go ahead and take a look at how the market is feeling on the crypto fear and greed chart. As we see right now, we have now entered once again the level of greed at 70. This chart will be updating, or this index will be updated in the next 4 hours. So be in the lookout for that. I highly recommend all of you to have this as an everyday thing. First thing you wake up in the morning, first thing you go to sleep, take a look at how the crypto fear and greed chart is doing. So that way you can go ahead and get an idea of how the market sentiment is across the board. Now, what I do want to show you as well, too, I have a few things I want to share. The first one being is that we now have Arizona to become the first U.S. state to vote on a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I think also Texas followed through on that. And I thought I saw earlier today that Utah is also heading towards there. So it's pretty good to see adoption when it comes to cryptocurrencies, a big major thing. And if you've noticed one thing too, I want to have this as a reminder for all of you. These last couple of days, it was a very shaky market. I know the market wasn't looking too good. Altcoins took a dip all across the board, 40, 50%. Meme coins down 80%. And then new really positive news come out, but nothing happens, right? And that was because of the whole entire anticipation of the FOMC meeting. And keep in mind, during times like that, you know, when the market's kind of down, these kind of news are not going to shake out the market. So you might have missed it. But what are your thoughts about this, Tristan, with Arizona now voting on a strategic Bitcoin reserve? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a little bit conflicted. I got into crypto for the premise of decentralization, of having an escape from government. That was kind of my reason to getting into crypto. I thought that was really cool, to say the least. Now, of course, government getting in, it is good. Obviously, it's going to pump our bags, and hopefully all of us and our private groups will make some money from this. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but I am happy that they are doing it. The dollar, despite looking very strong at the moment, has been inflating. If you look at purchasing power over the last few years, especially over COVID, purchasing power of your dollar has gone down so much. But if you compare that to Bitcoin, you compare that to gold over the same period of time, they have been very successful. They have had great returns over this same time of losing purchasing power. So I'm happy that they're doing it, but at the same time, a little bit conflicted. And Utah did pass a bill in their Senate as well.
Right. Really? Okay.
That is confirmed. Yeah.
That was today. That was news for today or yesterday that happened?
I think that was yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I mean, Mila right here is asking, we're saying all the positive news for crypto and the market is still not moving 100%. That's usually how things are. I mean, keep in mind, Bitcoin ETF market dumped, Trump announcing and talking about Bitcoin at the Tennessee conference, big crypto dump. We had also the Ethereum ETF crypto dump. So it's usually all these good positive news is the opposite of the market. So I'm not really too big on relying on these news. I do think it's very important to at least be aware of what's going on around us. But really, I do agree with Tristan. For me, when it comes to this with with government. I mean, the whole entire thing why I would assume a lot of us got into crypto, and that was definitely one of my biggest things, is being into a decentralized economy, right? So that's what really got me into cryptocurrencies. And it's pretty interesting to see the shift of what we're seeing all across the board. First, it was all looked down upon, saying different negative words about cryptocurrencies. And now we're having global adoption all across the board. Now, for me personally, I'm also, as I mentioned, I'm all about decentralization. And I think for me, that's what I value the most. But we also have to keep in mind that this also means that we are having global adoption. So if we really want to go ahead and push things to where we could go ahead and create more companies, especially in the US, where we're the dominating country when it comes to cryptocurrencies, this is the way we would go ahead and do it. So it's pretty interesting to see where things are heading. I mean, once it almost feels like every time I wake up, it's almost a dream or not even like reality, because these were things that all of us that were in crypto early on, like once thought of. We were like, oh, it'd be so cool if you're able to do this with cryptocurrencies and things like that. And like now it really became a reality, right? So it's pretty interesting to see how things have changed all across the board. I think this is more of a signal to show adoption and growth. And one of the biggest things too as well, and this is needed in order for more liquidity to come into the space. Keep in mind, crypto overall is at like a 3.5 trillion market cap at the moment. So in order for us to see that growth, we need regulation. Unfortunately, it depends on the way you view things. I don't want regulation, but in order for that adoption to happen, we need regulation, right? So I would say we definitely do need regulation and a few rules to make crypto a lot better and I guess a lot safer for most people. But you have to also understand that with that it comes with a price, right? So in my opinion, I remember this this one mentor mentioned to me. I can't remember exactly the way he worded it, but he mentioned you basically can't have both things. You either want freedom or you want security. You have to choose which one you want. And if you want freedom, you have to give up you have to give up one of the things, which might be security. And if you want security, you're gonna have to give up your freedom. So that's kind of the way where things are heading towards. But it's pretty interesting to see the shift of the narrative all across the board. Now, I do see that there is some questions right here. Mila asking, I see Russ says he is in Arizona. Shout out to Arizona. Mila is asking, what fundamentals will get Bitcoin to $120,000? Well, that's a really great question. That's why we're all here today, to go ahead and take a look at that. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Russ says, no regulations, please. I agree. I agree. I think we all feel like, all of us that have been hurt by the traditional financial system, we feel a certain way when we see this, right? It's good to see this because it's also a reminder. Because I remember early on when you were in crypto, and the friends and family that you tried getting into always said the worst negative things. You maybe have doubters in your family, even your own family, despises what you do when it comes to cryptocurrencies. But the thing is that now we're seeing this narrative shift that maybe now you're kind of like in the back of your head where you're like, I knew I was right. There was something that I knew I was doing the right thing, right? So I think this kind of just verifies the space that we're in, and that we're still super early on. But let's go ahead and shift and talk about Bitcoin and see what will cause us to go to $120,000 and above. But before I do that, I do want to go ahead and shift into a few more articles because these are very important for us to keep in mind. So let me go ahead and get rid of this one. But we're going to be talking about crypto hacks have been jumping by and very crazy in this month of January. And the reason being is because, as you see, crypto market all across the board has been green. So be very careful. Do not click on any malicious links. If anybody calls your phone or you see some sort of notification stating that your funds have been moved, always please double, triple, quadruple check. And always remember, no one from Decentralized Masters will reach out to you asking for money. And the same thing goes with exchanges. If an exchange is asking you for money in order for you to withdraw your money, that is a scam. So be very careful. right now, a lot of these situations are going to be happening because the crypto market is going up. So be very careful. Always double check. Do not click links, and be assertive of what's going on when it comes to these messages you might be receiving. It could be in different formats: text messages, emails, even phone calls. So be very careful, and make sure to keep your funds protected. Always keep a ledger as well. Anything you want to add to this, Tristan, when it comes to this? I mean, this is something we see every cycle. We see these massive, massive major breaches, hacks because of cryptocurrencies going up, right?
Yeah. No, it's unfortunately that's kind of where we are with when you want freedom, you're gonna have to accept a little bit of risk, and this is how that risk presents itself in crypto. I know that I've heard that there's been some pig scams, or which is like a greed scam, where there's like staking protocols offering a really high yield. You put your money in and it's gone. Uh, so I guess my advice to everyone is if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not true. Then it might be very well be a scam. So yeah, be careful. If it sounds, yeah, if it has a massive yield and it's like not a liquidity pool, then you
Yeah, you're right.
kind of gotta wonder. It's like, is that actually
100%. You're right.
legitimate? Yeah.
Yeah, be very careful, guys. If you see any platform offering very high returns with no risk, that should be a red flag. If they're saying that you're going to consistently like buy, confirm, earn a certain amount every day, there's no such thing as usually a platform. Even the liquidity pools, they change in APY, APR, so they're not always the same returns you're going to get every day, right? They're going to be different. They're going to be fluctuated based on the market and the conditions. So if there's any platform out there that's guaranteeing you 100% returns with no risk, that should be a red flag. Be very, very careful. There's no platform that would never guarantee you any risk. Same thing goes with crypto. There is risk in crypto, so be very, very careful. But especially when it comes to that, there definitely is not a platform that 100% assures that there's no risk going to be taken. Russ here says, Ben Franklin says, those who will give up liberty for a little safety deserve neither. It's a great quote. I really like that one. Mila says, or cloud mining. That is 100%. That was one of the biggest scams we had back in 2017. A lot of cloud mining claiming that you can mine Bitcoin at your house just by doing cloud mining. That was the biggest scam back in 2017. So be very, very careful. I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about $850 million in crypto flash crash happened just recently because of the DeepSeek market impact. So what caused it is there was fears in regards to this AI DeepSeek, which was created by China, correct, Tristan? Or is a Chinese company? Yeah. And basically that shook up the market in regards due to the fact that we have ChatGPT, and they notice that DeepSeek is actually cheaper to go ahead and host and run. And that kind of shook out the market all across the board, especially Wall Street. That's why there was a massive sell-off in the early of the week, due to the fact that there was this scares of a product being probably better, faster, and cheaper. And that's really what kind of like spoke to everybody in the market. They're like, oh, wow, we might be in a bubble. We might be in an AI bubble. Maybe this is it, right? And then the market retraced. That's what we saw. The crypto market also take a hit, as I mentioned, does have a huge correlation as well, all across the board. But what are your thoughts about this, Tristan? With what you saw coming in here, was this something that kind of shocked you? How did you react when you heard about this?
I was more shocked about the reaction that the market took. If it was cheaper by a lot. It was like something like 98% cheaper than what ChatGPT is valued at. So there's that. But also, as an investor, I've been in this for a while, and I've seen that not all the numbers that come out China are relatively true. There's a lot of little manipulation that they do over there. If you remember, there was like that stock that went up. It was like Luckin Coffee or
I
something.
remember that.
Yeah. And then it turns out that, oh, it's not actually performing anywhere near as good as it was. And then market tanked in China.
Yeah, that's funny. That was definitely some insider trading. I remember that. And it was
Yeah.
it was an actual coffee shop supposedly, right?
Yeah, it was a legitimate coffee shop. It's just that the numbers that they were presenting were nowhere near what they actually were.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. I mentioned to a lot of our members, this is nothing to worry about. We're always going to have news like this, flash crashes. The reason why we're having a lot of flash crashes and the reason why the market moves very quickly to the upside and to the downside is because of greed. As you see, that's why we measure the fear and greed to kind of get an indication of how the market's feeling. And as well, there's a lot of people leverage trading. So leverage trading, because of greed, people are over leveraging, and all it takes is a little article like this to reverse everything. So be very, very careful of leverage trading. If you are not aware or exposed to how to use it, I would recommend you stay far away from it. Stick to spot. Dollar cost average is the best solution. If you know how to trade, then go for it. But even then, right now, I think this is the most volatile market we've ever had, especially when it comes to leverage, because of the fact that I think everyone's just way too bullish and way too bullish to everything. Joe, welcome in, Joe. Joe says change settings on social apps to only contacts can add you to groups. WhatsApp is crazy when it comes to that. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of messages on my phone to join these crypto groups, and I'm like, how do they get my information? I'm like nowhere exposed to like WhatsApp or any of that. So just be very, very careful.
Yeah, my Instagram is full. So you know how you in Instagram you have your personal DMs and they're in the one list, but you have those pending DMs, like the ones that come from non-followers. I got like 100 in there, and they're all join this crypto group, and like, no.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I've seen that a lot too with like Twitter, a lot of like random messages being like DM'd, and as well on YouTube. So be very careful, because there is also scammers. Well, they'll go ahead and give you their seed phrase, and you're probably thinking that you're going to make so much money.
I'm gonna scam them.
You'll see comments saying like, "Oh, I have $10,000. I need help. I don't know how to recover them," and they'll give you the seed phrase. They're hoping that you log in, and there probably is some malicious backend when you connect your wallet, and then they'll probably drain you. So be very, very careful. Do not go ahead and try that. But yeah, nothing major in my opinion to be concerned when it comes to the tech sector. And also, I think it was also kind of an eye opener for Wall Street to kind of like realize like, hey, there's competition out there. I think with NVIDIA going and making new all-time highs and all these other stocks, I think that definitely went ahead and kind of brought the market to realize that there's competition out there. So a little bit more about the tech sell-offs right there. Now, I do want to go ahead and show you this token, Toshi, pumps over 300% after the Coinbase listing. So Toshi is actually the first meme coin on the Base network to get listed on Coinbase. And the reason why this token took off and did very well, and you may ask, John, what is this meme coin? It's a cat. Is it a dog? So the thing that's very interesting, so it turns out that Toshi is actually the co-founders, Brian Armstrong's cat from Coinbase. So as you notice, there's a little narrative when it comes to these big CEOs or big players in the companies. They'll go ahead and make these meme coins. They're not associated with them. It's just more of a fan thing. But yeah, so Toshi's the first meme coin on Base to get listed on Coinbase. Big major news. And that's the reason, one of the main reasons why we're seeing a lot of the meme coins on the Base ecosystem doing very well. So we actually go ahead and take a look right here. We see Toshi, what it went ahead and did these last couple months. But you saw after that Coinbase listing, Toshi has made new all-time highs. Now, for me personally, I wouldn't recommend buying into this now. I think this is a little too late to the party. I would wait for this thing to do its thing, but this has already done over a 12x return. So basically, if you would have jumped in at the bottom right here back on the beginning of January, You threw in $1,000, you would have made over $12,000. That is the beauty of meme coins. Now, because meme coins are so attractive with these returns, you got to also remember what Toshi did these last couple months. Meme coins are super, super risky. I do not recommend them, even though I love meme coins. But as you see, in order for Toshi to do that 12x return, it had to initially retrace over 90%. So meme coins, they do fluctuate a lot. I love them, but they are definitely a different ball game when it comes to holding on to these asset pairs. As you see, I also talked about KeyCap. I talked about this during the stream last week, and I've also mentioned this to our private community about KeyCat. I talked about it at around right here towards the end of December, early January. And as you see, if we would have bought in between here and now, you should be up over 200% in your position. So a 2x return on that. I'm still holding on to my trade. I think this is going to make new all-time highs. I believe the hype going on right now with KeyCat is they're anticipating a possible also Coinbase listing. I don't know if that's going to be true, but a lot of people are getting excited about that. So KeyCat's looking pretty good. 73 million market cap, 232,000 holders, and 2.55 million in 24-hour volume. And the next one, as you see, another token that I've been talking about with our private community, Benny up 60% today, currently at a 2.12 million market cap. These tokens do retrace a lot, as you noticed. Benny at one point back in April of 2024 did had to retrace over 95%. So I do think that we are seeing that shift into the meme coins on the base ecosystem. I think we should be seeing that run up on the memes very, very soon. If you're holding on to any of these pairs, be patient. Always remember, take a little bit of profits. But I think our time to shine, if you've been a holder of the base ecosystem meme coins, those will be doing very well soon. Now, for Andy, I know some of you are holders of this token. I've been a believer of this token for a long time. I've been holding on to it. Also, still haven't sold between Benny or Andy. I do believe this run's going to happen very soon, but Andy currently, in my opinion, at a pretty good area of support, buying opportunity. Just be careful, just dollar cost average. I did add to my position on both Benny and Andy last weekend. And I will be adding more to these in the next coming days. Now, I did mention to our private community these last couple days that I am not looking to be aggressive into any of the meme coins until for the next 2 weeks. So I'm not really doing anything too aggressive. I'm going to be buying a little bit here and there if the market narrative changes. And the reason why is because we're at a very critical area of the market. We're going to go ahead and talk about the tokens now. Bitcoin, the meme coins are great, but we really want to go ahead and get more information on how the overall market is going to do in order for us to continue to be bullish rather across the board. So now taking a look at Bitcoin, we're going to do some quick technical analysis on Bitcoin. As I mentioned, it's very important because Bitcoin is going to go ahead and lead the market. So looking at Bitcoin right now, it is currently sitting at $105,000, looking pretty good. As I mentioned, it's not 100% confirmed that we are bullish. We are at very critical areas. And the reason why I say that is because right here, Bitcoin is at the point of control, which stands for POC, usually acts as a very strong area of resistance. So basically, in other words, a very strong selling pressure, area where a lot of selling pressure comes in. So Bitcoin is almost about to go ahead and break through. Hopefully, Friday, we could go ahead and see Bitcoin break through pretty well and continue to hold this $105,000. If we do hold this range right here, we will be making new all-time highs. I do see the next price target being $109,000. And I think I do not want to overhype it, but I think as long as we continue to go here, I think $120,000 is around the corner. I think this is very, very doable. This is not unrealistic. Keep in mind, once we break that $109,000 range, that is only a 9% move for us to hit, 10% move to hit $120,000 Bitcoin. So I think that's coming very, very soon as long as the market continues to hold where we're at. This is the bullish case scenario. Like I said, everything's looking very, very positive from a technical standpoint. Market's looking pretty good. This is the reason why I'm saying do not worry, guys. Everything looks good so far. We see this double bottom pattern right here forming with a breakout, as long as we continue to hold this $99,000 range. We even went as low as 97 with a quick reversal. So now the real test will be coming. Will we be able to hold this range between 104, 105, and will we be able to continue to go up? And that's the question that everyone's waiting for, because right now the market is a little bit shaky. I'm pushing more towards a positive narrative. We will go higher. Now, I do want to mention, because right here we're all about transparency. Now, if Bitcoin does get rejected here, guys, it's not going to look too good. We definitely do not want to start seeing Bitcoin lose that buying momentum, because now we will be entering into a little bit more selling pressure. And it isn't the end of the world, because realistically, Bitcoin could go as low as $87,000. And as long as it reverses, we're good. But it will definitely put us in a danger zone. And what I mean by that is that if Bitcoin does go ahead and fall below this, continues to get rejected, and let's say we even do fall as low as like $87,000, a chance of us breaking through that are probably not going to be too good, right? So we'll probably see some sort of rejection, and that would take Bitcoin officially calling $109,000 a top. The reason why a lot of people are concerned is because if we were to zoom out, it looks very identical to what we saw last market. Bitcoin was doing almost something very, very similar. And this is what a lot of people are comparing to where Bitcoin is at right now. So Bitcoin is at some very critical areas. It does need to go ahead and hold where we're at. And we definitely do need to see a breakout, because it does look pretty identical to what we saw last bull cycle. And that's what a lot of people on Twitter are freaking out. So that's why we're seeing a lot of undecisiveness all across the board. Bitcoin, in my opinion, looks positive. I really doubt this move is going to happen. I don't think a downside push is going to happen. I'm pushing more for a positive momentum. But just keep in mind that if Bitcoin does fall below $88 to $87,000 and can't come back up, that would officially call $109,000 a top. Now, tomorrow is Friday, so we're going to see how the market reacts. If we could go ahead and see that breakout towards $109,000, or at least try to attempt to touch it, I think that $87,000 Bitcoin, and this being the top, narrative is completely out the door. And that's why I believe that once we do see that breakout, 120, and I do not want to hype you guys up too much, but even 150 is around the corner. So just hang on tight. Tomorrow, literally, we have less than 2 weeks for the market to decide where things are going to go. So within the next 2 weeks, if Bitcoin doesn't act, because keep in mind, also remember that what could happen is that Bitcoin could just stay right here for a while before it decides to make a move to the upside or make a move to the downside. So that's why I'm saying we really are running out of time, though, for the market. They have to make a decision of where Bitcoin's going to go. But as I mentioned, even if this was the top, which I highly doubt it, you do have one last final run for the altcoins and the meme coins. That's why you see some of the meme coins right now and altcoins kind of reacting a little bit. So if this was a top, then that means just Bitcoin dominance will shift. So usually after every market, usually always Bitcoin tops, then meme coins and altcoins usually go ahead and do the final rally before anything happens. So if you are exposed to altcoins, I wouldn't really panic too much about it. As I mentioned, if this was a top signal, then we'll get the information within the next coming weeks. And then now we'll be able to decide how to pivot and where to pivot. But as I mentioned, if this was a top signal, then that would mean the rotation into altcoins and meme coins, a big season that everybody expects, would be coming. Now, I don't think that's going to happen just yet. I think Bitcoin, there's going to be a little bit more Bitcoin dominance before we see that shift. But it doesn't mean that in between we won't see growth in the meme coins and altcoin sector. So just be on the lookout for that. Also with Ethereum is also in this critical area. I know a lot of people have been losing hope with Ethereum, but Ethereum right now is currently at this area of resistance as well. So it is looking like it could be struggling between this $3,200 range. So if we could break through this, this would officially confirm that the downtrend for Ethereum is now currently over. So we definitely do want to go ahead and see if Ethereum could break through that and come back up. And this would mean that the downtrend that Ethereum has been forming is now finally over. We definitely do not want to see a get rejection. get rejected. We could. I mean, realistically, we could probably even go as low as 2,800, and it will still be positive. But losing this $2,800 support is not a good sign, right? So we'll see how Ethereum also does and performs in the next coming days. But as I mentioned, we should be getting a clear indicator very, very soon of where the market could be potentially heading. Now, before I do make a pivot and talk a little bit about XRP, because I believe XRP this cycle will be the narrative that's going to be pushed. And I think a lot of people will begin to get FOMO into XRP. I believe XRP will hit around $8 to $12. Could it go above $12? 100%. I don't think it will, but I could be wrong. But with that being said, before we talk about XRP, so if you're an XRP holder, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us down below if you're an XRP maxi or not. But with that being said, Tristan, what are your thoughts about what I just talked about with Bitcoin? Are you more towards the bullish sentiment, the negative sentiment? What do you think and how do you feel about what we're seeing right now in the market?
Well, it depends. I forget which president. I think it was Richard Nixon, but he said they want to find an economist with only one arm, so they can never say, well, on one hand, but on the other hand. I do believe that we will end, that we are still, things are looking good. The politics are looking good. Like I said, when I started the stream, the Czech Republic just opened up their reserve for Bitcoin. The United States is likely to do that, as well as all these other states within the union are also opening up their reserves. So I think within this, the narrative is going in the bullish direction. But from my experience in previous cycles, the narrative was also going in the bullish direction when we started going down. So that's just why I stress the importance of strategies that help you during downtrends in the market. And we actually have a comment from Joseph here, which real world assets outside of Mantra, Ondo, and Propi should we be looking at? But outside of that, I would look at, the precious metals that I mentioned. Those are some good real world assets. If you're into DeFi, DePIN at all, so that's decentralized infrastructure, there's some good projects there. I know the Helium token has been absolutely obliterated lately. So you might be okay to pick a bottom there. I haven't looked at the chart myself recently, but that's another good place to look at some real world assets. But yeah, I'm still quite bullish on this market. I think we'll at least, if we're up at the top, we will see an alt season before we go down. We might already be in this alt season, looking at kind of how the market is today. It is flying up. So
yeah. I think we've been in an alt season since November, and I'll show you guys the reason why I believe we've been in an altcoin season since November. But Mila, to your question, she says, I like rats. Is there any rat coin? So there's a token called Hammy. It's on Solana. This is actually a pretty good token with a good community. I believe a YouTuber went ahead and launched this as a as a test, not a survey, but as a research reason. He went ahead and launched it to see how successful he could launch this token on YouTube. I'm not sure this is the guy, but Hammy has a pretty good, strong community as well. This token is relatively very, very low. We were to go ahead and take a look at this one. I've been keeping my eyes on this token. This meme is actually really, really strong. The hamster meme. I've seen this all across the board. It has to do with something with Kanye West, I believe. This meme, the meme with the hamster. It's like I've seen I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen the meme, but the meme is like literally like a hamster calling Kanye West. I don't know what it references to, but I believe this is where they got the inspiration from. And as you see, Hammy has already retraced over 89%. So something like this would be considering to get into. Throw in a little bit of money if you want to go ahead and get exposed to meme coins. As I mentioned, they are very, very high risk, but this thing has already retraced 90%. So if you really want to be exposed to that market, throwing $100 or $200 will not really hurt you, but just always be aware of what you're getting into. But this is on Solana. So this is the token I'm looking at. Right now, I'm looking a little bit more to see if there's a little bit more volume coming in and a little bit more activity. I usually look for what is called unusual activity. If I notice any unusual behavior of the market, usually that's how you can tell when whales are coming in. And then usually you could go ahead and ride that wave with them, because usually the whales go ahead and get all their friends, probably start doing promotions, start getting influencers, and they pump the tokens very high. That's why the meme coins go up very high, is because whales, a lot of insiders will come in, accumulate the bottoms. When they retrace 90 to 80%, they'll go ahead and load up with all their friends, and then they'll go ahead and start paying for advertisement themselves, even though they're not the owners of the tokens, but because they own a very high percentage of the supply, they're willing to go ahead and go that far. So, like I said, be careful with meme coins. But this would be one of them to consider taking a look at. Let's see what other questions we have. Joe says, I may have missed it already covered. I've watched the first half. Awesome. Mila says, I'm holding on to XLM instead. XLM is a good play related to XRP. So we'll definitely take a look into that right now. And then Joe says, I just got some 2 weeks ago of helium. That's nice. I think helium's really, really good. Mm-hmm. What else do you have to add with to helium?
It's a great project. It's stood this test of time. It's just that the token hasn't. The token has it's sticking around, of course, but it has not had great performance recently. That is for sure.
So guys, check this out. The reason why I've been very, very positive with XRP. So shout out to the XRP community, XRP maxis. XRP will go to the moon. Now, I do not want you guys to get FOMO, so I'm not telling you this to get FOMO, fear of missing out. I'm just letting you guys know what the narrative will be coming in very, very soon. So as you see right here, I talked about this with our private community first, about how we were going to be seeing a breakout with XRP happening last week. And I also did mention it on stream last week that I was considering entering a trade into XRP. I actually did enter my trade somewhere around this range right here, I believe, before that breakout. And we did see XRP make new all-time highs. So XRP is looking really, really good. And despite with all the negative bearishness all across the board, as you see, XRP has been holding on really, really well. So XRP is looking like it's going to be creating this chattern breakout one more time, which looks to be like a bull flag, similar to what we saw over here. So if XRP could go ahead and have that breakout at around this 320 range, we can see a breakout right here. As long as we hold that support, we are off to the races. And I believe the next price target for XRP will be $4. And this will bring a lot of excitement into the market. So just be prepared for this. If you have missed out on the XRP party, do not get FOMO. There is other opportunities. The second opportunity I'd be sharing with you, it is XLM. XLM is within the same narrative of XRP, both within the same cross-border payment solutions. And if you actually take a look at XLM right here, very similar chart before XRP had that breakout. This is what XRP looked like. If you go ahead and take a look right here, and then XLM, this is a chart for XLM. So XLM is lagging a little bit behind. So if XLM is still following XRP as it has been these last couple months, then we should be seeing that breakout for XLM. Now, for XLM, we are seeing a lot of resistance at around this 50-cent range. So in reality, we really do want to see XLM hold his range at around that 57 cent range, and then try to reattempt to break out of this 57 range before we start making new all-time highs. So 50 cents between 57 is really a lot of resistance, a lot of selling pressure. So XLM does have it a little bit tougher, but if XRP could go ahead and break past that that resistance that we're experiencing, which is not too much, XRP could easily break through this $3.18 resistance. So once it breaks 318 and we hold above 320, the next price target will be $4. And I think that's when we'll start to see a little bit more action into XLM. So just be on the lookout for that. Just be very, very careful. Like I said, XLM is lagging a lot. But if we do start to see a little bit more momentum start to pick up, I do believe XLM will go above over $1. So I think that would be the next price target for XLM. And keep in mind, I think XLM is near its all-time high. Yep. XLM's all-time high from last bull cycle was 79 cents. So once we do see that breakout, I think $1 is around the corner for XLM. So very, 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 very exciting time to be in the market, to be completely honest. And I think once XLM starts to go up, so even if you're not exposed to XLM, guys, do not feel left out. I wouldn't recommend chasing it. Like I said, if you want to be exposed to it, it doesn't hurt to throw in a little bit of money and look at it more as a trade. But this thing's not going to go to $1,000. But if you still want to go ahead and get some sort of exposure, in my opinion, XLM could be an alternative to consider dollar cost averaging into, especially if we do see that breakout with XRP. But with that being said, I think this is going to bring in a lot of more retail interest and a lot of more excitement into the market. So even if you're not a holder of XRP, do not feel like you're missing out on anything, because in reality, we need to see XRP do this, because this would activate altcoin season. So even though you're not a holder of XRP, you should be cheering on for the success of XRP, because this will activate altcoin season. And believe me on this, there will be a lot of euphoria as we see XRP approach the $4 mark and above. So it's going to be some very exciting times to be in the market. What are your thoughts about XRP, XLM, Tristan? Are you a holder? How do you feel about what I just talked about? Do you think this is going to bring in a lot more retail interest?
I am no fan of XRP. I am not a XRP army man. Not a fan of it, but I do agree with John here. Success for XRP here is success for crypto as a whole. The better, the higher XRP goes, the more attention it's going to bring, and that might activate our alt season. So we gotta root for it, even though I'm not a fan of it. I'm hoping the best for it, and all our XRP holders in our private group. I know XRP is quite a popular token with our members. So yeah, I'm rooting for it. I'm rooting for all the holders out there. Don't have
XRP
it myself,
to the moon.
But yeah, XRP to the moon.
Mila is asking, John, did you trade XRP on Blowfin? I have not traded today. As I mentioned, I'm waiting for that 320 breakout, but I will be adding to my position. I will be entering a position on XRP very, very soon. I kind of want to wait for this breakout confirmation, which is reaching that 315 to 320 range, which is, we're not that far away. XRP is at 312. So I will be entering a very small position on XRP very, very soon. I'll keep you guys updated if I do go ahead and do this. The reason why I'm entering a trade on XRP, I think XRP is going to be bringing you a really good trading opportunity, not an investment. So there's two different things. Investments are you dollar cost average, you hold, you let the thing do its thing, and that's it. A trade is like you thinking short term. Like, I'm going to enter right now, and I will exit and take profits 100% in a week or week and a half. That's what trading really is. So you can even do that on spot. Like, you throw in a couple grand, let it do its breakout, make a little bit of profit, and throw that into what other coin you believe in. If you want to buy more Bitcoin, take those profits, buy more Bitcoin. Maybe you want to, get into a little bit more riskier assets like meme coins, or maybe you want to buy your altcoins that you're probably down over 50% still. So that's what XRP and these trading opportunities bring us. But I'm not really looking at this as an investment. I don't think it will hit $1,000, but I do think XRP will be the narrative of the cycle. And I think that's going to bring in a lot of excitement. That's what we need in the market. We need excitement, we need liquidity, and we need more people excited for crypto. Right now, it's been a little bit more of this shaky market where we have so many positive news, and then just the opposite of crypto has been happening. And I think a lot of people have been getting discouraged. So do not give up. Our time will be coming very soon, I promise, and I hope, as long as Bitcoin doesn't just completely, just dump from here. But as long as everything holds on to where we're at right now, everything will be coming. It's all about patience. I think this is the hardest thing when it comes to crypto, is anybody could really make money in crypto. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but not that many people could go ahead and go through the ups and downs of the market, because these assets, specifically altcoins and meme coins, they do move 80 to 90% down, and they also pumped 20,000% and up, right? So from an emotional standpoint, it's a very difficult thing to go ahead and be in the market with that kind of volatility. But as long as you believe in what you're doing and you believe in the asset classes you're in, that's why I always mention, always purchase in what you believe in. Never buy what you don't believe. If you do not believe in a project, chances of you selling during a bottom are very, very high. So always invest in what you believe and what you understand, because you'll feel very confident during times in the market when they're not looking too good. But overall, market's looking pretty good, as I mentioned. I see Russ says ZRX thoughts. I don't know what ZRX is. Do you know what ZRX is?
No, I'm not familiar. Let me see.
Oh, OX protocol. Zero? Is that what it is or no? It's on ERC20.
Yeah. Chart doesn't look too bad. But I'm not familiar with the project itself. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I'm not too familiar with it either.
Yeah, chart looks okay though.
Where do you see the chart?
I just pulled the chart on CoinMarketCap. Let's go ZRX. Yeah.
Yeah, chart doesn't look too bad. Oh yeah, it's in the bottom. That's good. It's down 83%. So I think it could be something to consider buying into if you believe in it. But this thing last pumped in December all the way as high as 79 cents. So I don't know what it does. So I really don't know much about this. I have heard about it. It is running on ERC20. It's a protocol for decentralized exchanges. It is used for building Web3 wallets, indexes, and portfolio trackers. Oh, this could be a good one. I'll definitely put this one on my watch list. I appreciate that, Russ.
Yeah, that's kind of an infrastructure play.
Yeah, it's under infrastructure play. Market cap's at 361 million with $52 million in volume. That's a lot of volume, 52 million. I wonder what's going on there, but definitely does seem like it has some pretty good, strong utility behind that. Mila says it's a mental game, 100%.
100%.
And Joe says, what tokens will be included in the national tokenized stockpile? I only see individual states applying for Bitcoin stockpiles. Is there any info or links we can follow? Great question. Go for it, Tristan. I don't know this.
I think Bitcoin so far. So if you want to get a guarantee as far as something can be guaranteed, which is not far, Bitcoin will be one that will you will definitely see Bitcoin in any reserve. If there's going to be a reserve, it's going to have Bitcoin in it. If the United States diversifies into more tokens than just Bitcoin, you'll likely see American tokens. So things like Solana, things like Ondo, tokens that were created in the United States. That's what else I would see in stockpiles if they were to end up making them. Joseph also says, this token launched on Monday. Talk about bad timing. Here's top notch.
What token?
Yeah,
what token are you talking about? You know what's really interesting? I haven't taken a look at this in a while. So Grayscale Investments, you know how they do like some sort of like
ETFs.
What is it that they do? They do ETFs? Is that what they do?
Yeah, they do ETFs. So a lot of the crypto ETFs, like Bitcoin ETFs, the Ethereum ETF.
They have trust too. That's what they have, right? They have the trust. So one thing that was very interesting, and I used to take a look at this with Solana, like at one point with the trust right here on Grayscale's products, sometimes you can see a lot of these asset classes go up a lot higher than what you would see in the traditional side of the things. Like let's just say the regular price, because their prices are different. I don't know why. I don't know exactly how their trust works, but you'll notice a difference of the price. And I really wonder what the Grayscale, see, this is the price for XRP on Grayscale, $61 a share. That is insane. I wonder how
Yeah.
much that grew. Look at this. This is what I was going to tell you guys right now. What I was going to show you. I used to measure Grayscale's trust, their shares of what they're going for, and that usually would indicate an upside to the actual token price in the market. And it's pretty interesting to see how right here on Grayscale's XRP's trust, you see that it got a lot of momentum these last couple days from the 27th to now. It went from their trust being a 59 to now being a 61. So it kind of shows a lot of like buying pressure and momentum. So it's really interesting to see how this is going to react. But it's also interesting to see that $61 a share for XRP Trust on Grayscale.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know how this works. Like, how does this work? Do they just hold on to the asset and you invest in it?
Yeah. So what they have is they have it in a cold storage somewhere, and actually, Coinbase is one of the companies that will manage the holdings of an ETF, like one of Grayscale's. So they'll just have the tokens in a cold storage, and then they'll break up that storage into a number of shares, and then that's what gets listed. So there aren't the exact amount of shares as there is the exact token amount of XRP, for example. So you'll see the share price will be very different than what the actual token price will be. Like, for example, if you looked at any of the Bitcoin ETFs, none of them are trading at 100,000. They're all you probably going to be somewhere around $100 or something. It
Really
just really depends on how many shares of that vault that they create.
interesting. So they basically go ahead and hold on. Like, let's say, for example, they're holding on to $10 million of XRP in a ledger, and then they go ahead and issue shares of those holdings. How do they go ahead and know how many shares to issue? I'm assuming it's probably in a limited supply almost, huh? They probably just go ahead and reissue and things like that.
Yeah. So with the ETFs, it's never usually limited supply. They'll do if it got too expensive. For example, let's take this one. Let's say XRP goes to $12, or let's say it goes to $24. It probably won't, but let's say it does go up that way. This would make this ETF very expensive. So you could see the share price of this ETF. It would be close to maybe $200 if it ever got up that way.
Wow.
But when you see big numbers, and this is traditional investing and crypto, when you see big numbers, you think, "Oh, I can't afford that." Even though even though two tokens or two stocks might be the same value, but this one has more shares listed or more tokens created, so the number will actually be lower. So this is a good example, like Pepe or Dogecoin, where they have so many shares out there. So that's why their tokens are like 0.000. But then the actual value of that token is, something billion. But same goes when you don't have a lot listed. So when we can take Berkshire Hathaway, for example, Berkshire Hathaway has never increased the amount of shares, I don't think. So their share prices is like their share price is like a 6-digit number.
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it messes with your head though, because to a share price of $100 and a share price of 0.00, those two assets could actually be the same value.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see this. I wonder if there was any like difference of growth when I'm assuming the trust was probably a lot cheaper than it is today at $61 for XRP. I wonder if you would have made more money on the trust than XRP. Like, that's a pretty interesting narrative. It sounds like you're saying it's basically almost about the same. It's just a psychological number behind it. But all they're really doing, from what it seems like right here, they're basically just holding on to your XRP for you, and that's it.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much it. They're just basically like an IOU, pretty much. Like you have XRP, but like under their conditions, but you can't move it. You only have the share, so you only basically have a copy of it. So I'm sure this is probably more for like institutional investors where they want to have exposure to cryptocurrencies without having to know how to get into DeFi and get in and out. But it's pretty interesting to see the price of this. I want to know what this would look like in the next coming days as XRP makes new all-time highs. It would be very, very interesting to see. I mean, you're already seeing a lot of momentum. And like I said, I remember when I used to look at the price for Solana, and the price was always a little bit higher, of course, as you're mentioning. But that usually, when this went up, usually this would indicate that the actual price of Solana would also go up as well. It looks like they might not have Solana anymore. That's weird.
Yeah. Maybe because they were going for the ETF for it, so maybe it's not listed anymore.
It's Oh, it's right here, GSOL, right here.
Right.
Interesting. This one's going for $24.
Yeah. So that just means that there's probably more shares of this Solana ETF than there's actual Solana tokens.
Yeah, it was actually a lot higher. What I'm probably thinking is they probably went ahead and issued more stock.
They could have done that, yeah.
That's probably what they did and what brought down the price, because this would have been like over $200, and I'm assuming that's probably what they went ahead and did. But yeah, this started since back in 2021, and also keep in mind they have a $2.50% management fee. So see, look, this is the price of Solana right here. Back in those days, as I was telling you, it was up as high as this was before Solana was at over $100 plus. But it's really interesting to see that. But anyways, that's pretty much it on my end to cover. We're seeing a little bit of buying pressure on XLM right here, up 12%. I think this was just recent because I just saw that massive wick. So it looks like it's looking pretty good for XLM. We'll see how it holds up. Let's see XRP if there's any market changes going on to that right now. Nope, XRP still at around 315. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles one last time. OM's doing pretty well, man.
Yeah, OM's still doing up. Yeah.
Really good.
Hype is good.
Yeah, it looks like the market's picking up a little bit. Market's looking a little bit more excited. Like I said, we'll see how the market reacts. Do you have anything else to cover, Tristan?
You can see the glow is coming off the Trump coin a little bit there too.
Oh yeah, Trump. I want to talk about that one. I'm glad you mentioned the Trump token. Trump token, guys, because I know a lot of you might be holders. So for the Trump token, I doubt this is going to happen. But if this was to happen, if you were to see this token at fall below $26 and you see it come down between the $10 to the $15 range, that would be a pretty good buying opportunity. Right now, so far, has been holding on to support at around this $26 range. So we'll see if this holds on to it. If this does lose it, it kind of looks like there's a little bit more selling pressure than buying. I mean, look at this whale selling $162,000. But if we do start to see a little bit more selling pressure into this, I'm going to be considering the Trump token at around this like $15. The best buying, in my opinion, would be if we ever see it at $5. I'm not sure we'll see it get there, but I think anywhere between below $20, like $20 and under, I think would be a pretty good buying opportunity. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this, see how it reacts. If I do start to see the Trump token start picking up and start breaking past this $30 area, I'm definitely going to be considering also entering a trade on this, because this does have a lot of volume, $48 million in volume. So this is where I'm also going to look into if there's any liquidity pools for this, because 48 million is a lot for volume. So we'll see where things go, but just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Anything else you want to cover, Tristan?
No, that's about it from my part. We'll be interested to see how things go on Friday, just as the market's coming to an end. But yeah, if you are looking at Trump token, you can guarantee that Trump will be part of the narrative for the next 4 years. So there will constantly be some information, there's constantly something in the news that might be affecting the token. So yeah, if you're into the meme coins, Trump might be a safer way to kind of play them right now.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure to always like, comment, and subscribe. Do you want to go ahead and do the outro, Tristan?
Yes, I don't mind at all. Thanks for tuning in this week. This week's episode. I hope you're walking away with some clear strategies and insights to push you through DeFi journey. Remember, DeFi is evolving fast, and staying ahead means taking action with the right knowledge. If you're ready to dive even deeper and you want a roadmap to build your DeFi success, check out DeFi Masterclass. The link is in the description below. In the training, you'll have clear hands-on strategies to maximize your returns, manage risk, and truly make the most of what DeFi has to offer from our CEO, Tan. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss next week's live episode. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and I will see you right here next time on Decentralized Masters, which will actually be Tuesday next week.
Yeah, see you guys next week. You guys have a good one. Take care. Appreciate all of you. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great weekend.
You guys.